Welcome to the third and final day of competition at this year's Hohhot Grand Prix. Hohhot, the capital of Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region in northern China, lies between the Yinshan Mountains and the Yellow River. It's a city rich in history with a unique mix of cultures surrounded by breathtaking countryside. We're about to get underway with the final block and all the medal matches, the first of which is a bronze medal match in the under 90 kilo category, featuring Ivan Felipe Silva Morales of Cuba. He'll be up against Eduard Trippel of Germany. It'll be Silva Morales in the white judo gi, Trippel in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Lubomir Peter of Australia. And with commentary on this and all of this afternoon's medal matches, it's a very warm welcome to former world champion Loretta Cusack-Doyle. Good afternoon, Loretta.
Good afternoon, Sheldon, and yes, it's going to be a very exciting afternoon of judo. And starting off with that excitement is this under 90 kilos bronze medalist Silva Morales, who's the #1 seed coming into this competition, has had an outstanding performance. Beautiful judo and very dynamic throughout. Unfortunately, he missed out in getting into the semi-final where he fought against Papunashvili of Georgia in that quarter-final stage, which then put him into the repechage. But he's here battling away now for a chance of that bronze medal, but he's going to have a really tough job against Eduard Trippel of Germany, who for me has been one of the top players in this weight category. And with his Makikomi techniques that we've just seen him in the opening there, he's got a lot of excitement there, a lot of energy and enthusiasm that shows throughout the day.
He just missed out on...
Yes, he's just, for me, this Eduard Trippel is one of these young athletes that from the World Championships last year, where he was 5th place, just seems to have got, is someone that, where before he was under the radar. For me, every time he comes out on the world circuit, he just seems to get better and better. And he's one of these consistent athletes, has picked up medals in Paris, Osaka, Marrakesh, Baku, a 7th place, and the Junior World Championships was a bronze medalist. So this is someone that really can hit top time.
He had a little stab at the Makikomi earlier on, and on the way down, he almost had a little turnover.
Yes, and he's very, very clever in the Niwaza. That's one good thing. Oh, he gets that real lift there. Very dynamic. Everyone on the edge of their seat, and you could hear the ooh at the background as they saw the height, but really there wasn't any finish at the end of the day with that. Silva Morales, really good aerial awareness. He's got cat-like reactions. Very difficult man to throw. And he's a very fit athlete as well.
He also had a little stab at him on the ground.
Well, there was a lovely change of direction, good feel, hooked in there with the Ouchigari. Now, whether they would say that that was an execution of the Ouchigari or was it just a reaction from Trippel trying to pull him back, I think they'll have a look at that. But for me, there was a lot of control. But they've decided, no, he really didn't have control of that Ouchigari, what looked to be the Ouchigari change of direction. Here's that. Silva Morales is that left hand high on the shoulder. He controls nicely. Again, a rear attack. Trippel does extremely well to get out of that situation. Finds himself under a little bit of pressure now. Nothing really much between age and maturity within these two athletes. And as we see on the world ranking, Silva Morales is #3 in the world ranking. Eduard Trippel is creeping up there and becoming a real contender in 11th place. Sutemi Waza there. His Niwaza is very strong, and I think he fancies his chances down in the Niwaza.
You'll have to be careful because quite early on in the contest, Silva Morales nearly had his head off.
Yes, yeah.
With that attempted shimiwaza. So it was lucky it was judged to have gone across the chin, or else he would have been in trouble there. Anyway, it's Trippel's turn to work something on the ground, but he decides against it. Minute and a half left to go.
And the hips come through, the arm around the back. He switches direction once again for a Sutemi Waza off the Ogoshi. Two very strong and fit athletes, as you can see there on our screen. Neither one of them phased by the intensity of this contest in the past 3 minutes we've seen so far. Comes deep on the belt, and this is where he's very dangerous. A switch of the Ouchigari, works on the edge. Triple really does well to sort of rescue himself from what looked to be a very dangerous situation. Comes under the arm, round the back of Silva Morales. Morales comes over the top, hooks in with the Uchimata. Kosota, good combination of techniques there. Sutemi was a reaction there from Triple, really to get out of, again, a little bit of bother.
Well, he's kept up a good rate of attacks there, Silva Morales.
Oh,
takes a lot out of you, but Triple is the fighter who's just picked up a penalty. So a single Shido against Edward Triple with about half a minute left to go. He just lost contact with the hands there, thinking about the Makikomi on the left side.
He can't afford to make any mistakes like that. Firm control of his opponent at all times. Cannot give Silva Morales any room for manoeuvring or any advantage. He's very shy, comes in with that Osotogari off to the side, but Triple upper body control and was able to, with the Tewaza move, catch him on the edge of the contest area, almost scoring there.
I think he did score. That was a really good effort.
Well, they're going to have a look at it. He did have that shoulder where it was just at the tip, front point, but let's have another look here. He catches him, he slips the head, pushes down on that shoulder. Yeah, well, the lower body was flat to the front, but that shoulder was tipped to the back.
That's what I think. The first look for me was good enough for him to come up with a score here.
Yeah, you can see the head facing us.
Yep. That's a score for me.
Now, obviously very flexible, that you could see the lower part of the body showing one way, but Silva Morales' shoulder was tipping the other way. It is a really tough call, and it is one they're going to have to look at, and they have done, and they've let that one go.
He's lucky to get away with that, because he pulled that right across.
That was close, definitely close. With seconds remaining, this is going to go into golden score. Tupril there with one Shido, but he's coming alive. There's no doubt about it. Silva Morales' coach there looking a little bit worried. Under slight pressure here now as the clock ticks away. And there you have the Makikomi off that shoulder. And this is where he's very clever. He's scored quite a few times throughout the day with that very technique. Comes under the back there, and Morales goes over at the top. He uses his feet, stumbles Triple down to the ground. Again, both of these don't seem to be bothered at the amount of time they've been out there battling away for this bronze medal. They're like magnets to the edge of the contest area. Engage with the grip, head to head, desperately looking for the ultimate control before engaging. Morales uses his feet to break up his opponent's balance and concentration there. Triple a little bit frustrated as he tries to go for the Sutemi Waza, and Silva Morales just drops to his knees there to avoid any confrontation there.
Just wondering how quickly these two fighters are going to drain, and is one going to drain quicker than the other?
Well, Triple comes in with a combination of techniques there.
Because Triple is up on his feet pretty quickly, ready to go. Silva Morales just taking that little bit longer now.
Well, based on how they've performed throughout the day, I really don't question their condition. Neither one of them. They're very, very fit, strong athletes. They've displayed that throughout the day, and although this has been a very physical match, I think they're both equally matched as far as the condition. I don't see either one of them lesser off by doing 5.5 minutes at this particular moment.
No, up to this stage, very evenly matched.
The Uchimata working it into the Makakomi there for Silva Morales.
The thing that I'm thinking about is, as your energy drains, I mean, you need energy to attack.
Yes.
But as your energy drains, you've got less energy to defend. So
very true.
Just wondering whose defense is going to crack, not necessarily who's going to be the strongest in attack, but who can resist.
Oh, well, this is a dangerous situation. Who's going to topple on this one? It looks so dangerous. That Ochigari was there, the counter front triple was there as well. And here we had the Osakomi.
Lucky to get out of that one.
And he was very lucky indeed.
He went the right way.
Definitely. And by going the right way, it looked a very awkward way to spin over the top of his head. But if he'd actually turned into him, he would have actually screwed himself into the Osakomi, and that would have been the biggest mistake. But the Germans are very, very strong in their niwaza, and his awareness of what was going on down there was very sharp indeed.
Real test of their fitness for both of these fighters.
So to Makakomi again. Oh, and he
scored
gets
there.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Silva Morales takes the win and the bronze medal, but he had to work for it.
Couldn't keep him out in the end.
No,
Twibble.
no.
You know.
I think what we were looking there is who was the sharpest. And I think it wasn't about their conditioning. I think both are very strong, very fit. I just think that Silva Morales has that sort of twitch fibre, that very sharp reactions. He enters a lot quicker than his opponent. And that was what had the winning edge on that. Every attack was just that little bit sharper.
Bronze medal for Ivan Felipe Silva Morales, although took him a little bit longer than he would have liked.
Oh, I'm quite sure.
As Loretta Cusador was saying at the beginning of that contest, very evenly matched, the pair of them, and it turned out that way. Just that one score deep into the golden score period as well.
Well, someone had to topple at some stage, and it was in style at the end.
You can see the highlights of this first bronze medal contest on the screen.
Makakomi winding right in to also securing what could have been the Osakomi. Some real highlights, some interesting situations in this contest.
We've got a second bronze medal contest coming up for you now. It'll be Cyril Grossklaus of Switzerland to go up against Georgi Papinashvili of Georgia. Grossklaus in the white judogi, Papinashvili in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Friedrich Anna Maria of Hungary.
Well, both these athletes weren't in the top 4 seeds. As you can see, there has been a head-to-head, though, 3 times, with Papinashvili being on the having the upper hand, as you could say, in those matches. But looking at the world ranking, well, you really wouldn't sort of call too much of an advantage between the two of them. They've both had some great performances throughout the day, and their journeys to this bronze medal match, well, Papanashvili beat Silva Morales in the quarterfinals, which was a really good win for him, and he did it in style. It was challenging, but he eventually caught him with beautiful Uchimata, and went into the semi-final, but sadly was dropped at the last hurdle against Nagasawa. But what is really interesting with Papanashvili is that he's got a beautiful Uchimata, right-handed Uchimata, and that is very dangerous. We've seen it throughout the day, and I wonder if he's going to get an opportunity to do it in this one. But Grosklaus, again, an unseeded athlete in the top 4, but he's got an Ouchigari that's very strong, and his Niwaza, when he transitions into Niwaza, is very, very sharp. He lost out, sadly, because of the seeding. He lost out to Majov of Serbia, who's also now in the final. He was the number 2 seed coming into this competition. So both these athletes just lost out to get to that final by the number 1 and number 2 seed. So that's not a bad feat really altogether, but only one of them are going to be able to take that bronze medal and a place on the podium.
Papanashvili has a little makikomi, or Uchimata makikomi, a little bit like Valam Lepetiliani. Just tried to get the right arm over the back, and Grosklaus was up to defending against it. Moved very, very quickly, but he had to duck underneath in order to do that, and he's picked up a penalty.
He's attempting that Sianagi, was a little bit too far out on that one.
See, he doesn't like the right arm grip that Grosklaus has got.
I think he's got that.
But he's lucky to, yeah, there's the makikomi. See, in a way, you've got to be brave to go across there. And if you don't like that right arm grip, that's your out.
Yes.
Your out is that makikomi.
And he's very strong on that makikomi, there's no doubt about it. He's very strong on that side completely. He's a bit of a bear, really. Deep in, one knee down, the other leg drives across. He keeps the full contact.
I mean, it was an unattractive pull in the end. He really just
strength and ignorance there.
Dragged him across. And the reason for that is that he hasn't initiated that movement. It's Grosklaus who's going over, so Papanashvili's legs aren't where he would want them.
No.
So he's got to pull him from even further, whereas when he tries the makikomi the way that he likes, he can bring him over that outstretched right leg. That wasn't there that time.
His positioning on his body wasn't a half turn on the makikomi. He had to make it a
full turn
to get his own shoulder out of the way.
Exactly. Well, he leads with 2:20 left on the clock. It's the Nippon Seoinage low on the right side effort from Grosklaus. That has Papanashvili defending strongly.
Well, Grosklaus is under pressure now coming up to the halfway mark. But you can't write this man off. He's been quite impressive. He's had some really interesting matches. They've not always been an easy run through from one stage to the next, but he's able to dig in deep. He's got enough in the tank to keep going right to the end, and so you can't write him off in the actual contest itself at any stage. He's got the left hand on the lapel. As you can see, he's just trying to get a little bit of an opening there, pull on that side, on that right side of the Georgian. He's turned in for the Seoinage move, but he just turned in a little bit too quick and dropped out of sight too quickly. Needed to get a little bit more rotation on that Seoinage. Problem is when you turn your back on Papanashvili is that the trouble of the counter, and he has the Uranage, as the Georgians are very, very strong in the counter techniques, and by turning your back completely in a very slow motion would leave yourself very vulnerable. And I think Grosklaus knows this. Again, he's got the lapel. He works now off the sleeve, but as you can see, he's fumbling around there looking to get two hands on his opponent, and he's looking a little bit untidy, and he was a little bit vulnerable there against the Georgian.
Into the last minute now. Babanashvili still with that single score that separates him from the Swiss fighter.
And the expressions on the Georgian's face, he looks very comfortable indeed. He doesn't look like he's actually been put under pressure at this particular moment.
Well, the other thing that is in his favour, apart from the score, of course, is the fact that he's remained penalty-free. So
Yes.
when we talk about the tactics in the last minute, I dare say that he's going to pick up one, possibly two penalties as he looks to shut up shop and keep hold of that lead.
Yeah, totally agree. The dynamics will change slightly. Grossklaus will start to chase a little bit, and as he advances onto his opponent, will leave himself a little bit vulnerable as well. And Babanashvili will all he'll have to do is keep his distance and allow his opponent to try and chase him.
Yeah, the usual penalties are passivity, because he's failing to attack, and then the second one is normally a drop
Yeah.
or a false attack.
So into the last half a minute, and again, looking at his expressions, he's comfortable. Grossklaus really doesn't seem to have much to offer right now. A little bit flat.
He hasn't threatened him enough.
No, there's been no big threats at all throughout the whole contest with him.
Well, we're talking about, if we look at the last 50 seconds, it was 55 when we gave that kind of analysis. This is what's going to happen in the last minute. The only thing that failed to come true was the volume of attacks that Grossklaus could have put in during that 55 seconds. We didn't see it. Babanashvili was able to. He's just picked up the one penalty.
He did a deliberate drop on his knees,
Yeah.
and who would blame him?
And we knew one of those was coming.
Yes.
But he should at least have been able to force a second out of him, and he wasn't able to do that. He just didn't threaten him enough, unfortunately.
I just find that bizarre, really, when you know that you're a Wazari down, you've got the last minute. Well, if you don't do anything, you're not going to get anything at the end of it. It's not going to just land on your plate and say, right, here, take it. He had to fight for it, but he didn't have that fight in him. And he lacked that oomph and aggression and open himself up. At the end of the day, if he went for a pawn, go for a pawn, but at least go for something rather than just hold back, hoping that it was going to land on his lap.
Jamie Johnson, the British coach, was heard to shout out earlier on at one of his players, risk it. And at that stage, because that
all
was
or nothing.
It was 25 seconds in that instance. Here he had 55.
Yeah, all or nothing. That's my sort of motto for it. If you're down in Wazari and you're under a minute, just go for it. Don't keep doing the same thing that you've done for the past 3 minutes, and that's coasting your way through, doing the same techniques, the same advancing onto the grips, the same pace of contest.
He really does drag him from last week, doesn't he? Right from the back there,
Come here. You're coming with me. Oomph.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. It's a big, heavy sort of roll. I wouldn't say a heavy throw, but definitely a heavy roll.
Big pull.
Look at that.
There's a moment there when he feels, hey, this is right. I can take this from here, and he just drags him over that hip.
Very powerful move.
There's normally a leg there, but it had to be the hip this time. Right, Georgi Babanashvili of Georgia. Well, that brings us neatly now to the final of the under 90 kilo category. Nagasawa Kenta of Japan faces Nemanja Majdov of Serbia. It'll be Nagasawa in the white judogi, Majdov in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Jefferson da Rocha Vieira of Brazil.
Well, 10 positions on the world ranking apart, but again, like I've said on quite a few of these matches throughout the weekend, performances-wise, they've both performed extremely well. Majdov, for me, is an exceptional athlete, and you've got to give him credit when credit is due, and he has a phenomenal record. But Nagasawa, for me, has been very interesting. He's a big thrower. He's 25 years of age. He's got 3 years maturity over his opponent. He's world bronze medalist, and in Tokyo Grand Slam in 2017, he won a medal there. So for someone like that, you really can't write him off. He's capable of winning and being on that top podium. So for Maidov, he's had a bit of highs and lows. He's been challenged a few times throughout the day, and he has come up on top. And that's that maturity and that confidence that oozes from the Serbian. But and he's such a lovely guy as well. You can't help but really support him all the way.
I think the challenge from the French fighter Aurélien Dieter really,
that wasn't it? That was a
terrific battle.
But that, I think, was a bit of a history repeating itself, because at the World Championships he lost to him, and it was the biggest upset at the World Championships that he went out to him
in
because
the second
he was
round,
just
that's right.
had so much energy that Maidov really didn't know what hit him, and it was looking like it was going to go that way this time. But he was able to compose himself and take that win. And I think when he got that win under his belt, we saw a bit of a relaxation coming through him. I think that was a really tense moment for him throughout the day. And then after that, everything seemed to be a little bit easier.
Just had a little go there at the Sumigaeshi. Nagasawa saw that one coming, just got a hand down and blocked it. At the first minute, Nagasawa was the fighter who picked up the Shido. Left-sided Uchimata that I'll give Maidov the benefit of the doubt that he stepped over that as opposed to Nagasawa going too far through. Just the right spot for Maidov to take a step forward and get off it that way. You don't want to end up climbing on your opponent's back and then getting completely cartwheeled. Blocked there with that little Kataguruma. There's his own Uchimata! Oh, nice little combination that, because Nagasawa recovers from the attempted Kataguruma, but Maidov was in very, very quickly for an Uchimata, and it had Nagasawa showing us a little bit of his athletic ability and stretching there.
Exactly. Well, Nagasawa has had a few sort of, as you could say, real punch-ups throughout the day, and only winning through golden score and in the hand sokomaki, so he's really had to work for his place here in this final. Papinashvili really gave him a good run from his money. That was a very tough match, and only catching Papinashvili in the golden score, not in the golden score, but the last 45 seconds of that match with the Uchimata. So that's how he defeated Papinashvili. But with Galtuga, he was actually right up to hand sokomaki there, and it did go the distance. It was a really difficult match for him.
It was Nagasawa there who had a little look at Uchimata. This time Maidov just pushed the hips forward a little bit and blocked that. Got a strong right arm that's making it difficult for Nagasawa to come in on that side. He thinks about the Sumigaeshi, but that is blocked as well. It ended up looking pretty poor.
Yeah, he's blocking his opponent's left side, and rightly so, because that left Uchimata is very, very strong. It's dangerous if we can get hold of him.
In keeping Nagasawa quiet, Maidov has just got to make sure that he doesn't fall behind as far as attacks are concerned.
Yes,
and there you go.
Yeah.
A little bit harsh there, given that there was some nice interplay between the two of them. To pick up a Shido there was slightly unfortunate for Maidov.
Throws that arm over the top, digs in deep there. Nagasawa. Oh, well, he was a little bit Nagasawa for me. He just waited far too long. I felt when that arm came over the top, that split second, Nagasawa had an opportunity to come through and hit him there on the left, because he came over the top, which gave him that room to maneuver inside. He wasn't blocked too deeply.
Or at the very least break that off, but don't leave it there. Exactly this way.
Yeah, he plays too long, and as you can see, there you have it.
Well, just as you say, this time it was Maidov who hung on too long. When that arm went over, we said immediately, either you get off it. For me, get off it.
Do something with it. Don't just hold on. Yeah. Now it's very, very dangerous for him to come over there, and he dug in really deep. 38 seconds to go. This is
The
like
magic
the
40.
magic 40. What are
Yeah.
you going to do from there?
Yeah, well,
So
it was 51 actually when the throw took place, but it's in that last period there. You know, you get a score there, you can wrap it up.
And you-
Although
yeah.
Nagasawa's just got one Shido.
and that's it, and he can afford to take another
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
There's no doubt about it. He's in a comfortable position now. I don't know if he's got today that big throw. Niwa's have been great, but he ain't got enough time for Niwaza.
Yeah, well, it's either go to the Katakuruma or come up with an Uchimata, and Nagasawa isn't
Ruffling.
likely to allow either of those in.
No, look at Nagasawa's grips.
No,
His
missed that.
grips are loose, they're open, he's reacting, he's giving a false sense of
Yeah.
insecurities there for Madov.
One last attack then for Maidov left with 11 seconds on the clock.
It is an all or nothing there for Madov now. He really has to make this next move count.
Taking the long way round.
To compose himself, really. He's get heads going. The thought process is, what am I going to do? Now, it all lies in the next reaction, really. It's an all or nothing. But he is a gutsy player anyway, so there's no two ways about it. He'll throw that arm over the top. He's got to come in. He's got to come in deep. Nagasawa is keeping him at bay, rightly so. But he's trying to set that Uchimata up, and
There's no in.
that's it. No chance. Getting caught at that late stage of the contest was the sort of a major stumbling block for him. He just didn't have, if it was within the minute, you would have seen a different situation possibly, but 38 seconds, it's a tall order.
Yeah, good kumikata in the end there from Nagasawa Kenta, just making it, impossible for the former world champion Nemanja Maidov to get hold of him. Silver medal? Well, not what he came here for.
No.
He wasn't seeded number 1 or
No,
2,
no,
was he?
no,
Oh, yes, he was. He was
It
number
was
2
number
seed.
2.
Yeah.
Madov was number 2, but Nagasawa wasn't. He was seated number 3.
So, little turning around for the seeding there.
What's interesting, all the top 4 seeds.
No, actually, no. Beg your pardon.
All the
He
top
was
4
seeded
seeds-
number 2.
He was seeded number 2, all
Yeah.
except for Madov. The others that were seeded got medals. We got Silva, who was the number 1 seed. Papanashvili, he didn't get seeded. So
He's
there
done
was
well.
2. There was
Yeah.
2 out of the seedings that actually got themselves back on that podium.
Nagasawa then can be considered to have improved himself by coming in there, as you say, as the number 4 seed, number 4
Yeah,
seed,
number 4, sorry.
and ending up on the number 1 spot. Maidov was seeded number 2 and finished up second.
Yeah.
So, but he won't be pleased.
Well, he beat the number 1 and number 2 seed today.
In that case, maybe when you just look
He's had a couple of
at
good
the medals,
results.
look at the medals, he may say, not what I wanted. When you look at the people that he beat, Deezer,
Oh gosh, yeah.
and who else was it that you were mentioning?
He had
Edouard Triple. He beat Triple as well.
yeah.
That was a good win. Yeah, Deezer and Triple. I think those are the ones that will please him most.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
Revenge, when we talk about Deezer,
That's it.
and
That was a
sorting
horrible one.
sorting out the young man.
Yeah. That was one. That was a mental one. That was
Yeah.
one he needed to get put to bed. He really needed to put that one to bed.
We come now to the first of the bronze medal contests in the under 78 kilo category. Ma Chunchao of China faces Takayama Rika of Japan. It'll be Ma in the white judogi, Takayama in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Yevgeny Raklin of Russia.
Well, when you look at the statistics there, you really wouldn't tear either of those two apart. It's going to be a very tall order for either one of them to try and get on that podium. They're going to fight, there's no doubt about it. Very, very little on the world ranking, and at their age, this very, very similar in age. So this is going to be a very interesting one indeed. Both have had good performances throughout the day, and we'll just have to wait and see how this one turns out.
Well, 78 kilos is a category that the Chinese like.
Yes,
They
yes.
always manage to find someone to fill this weight category. One of the coaching staff for China is a former Olympic champion at this weight, Yang Chu Li. She's up there in the stand somewhere.
Well, neither one of these athletes were in the top 4 seeds, so they were thrown into the mix with the other young ladies that were seeded in the top 4. Ma was defeated at the quarter-final stage against Chimeo, world champion, who is an amazing athlete, who obviously then went on to lose to Wagner in the semi-finals, which was again a very tough match. And so when you look at the weight category, 18 athletes participated, but there was some real depth in that weight category, some really high quality athletes. Takayama this year was a bronze medalist in Ekaterinburg, also last year in Cancun, won Cancun Grand Prix. A good result there.
Yeah, they're spoilt for choice,
Yes.
the Japanese, at this weight, with Umeki Mami and Hamada Shori, Ogata Akiri. There's just too many of them there.
Yeah, there's a lot, isn't there?
Takayama, unfortunately, even if she were to medal here, is unlikely to get a look in.
Yeah, well, I'm a great believer with success breeds success. When your randori partners are world athletes, then you've got every chance of finding something like this, a randori session, aren't you, really, at times? Takayama picks up the first Shido, though, and we're coming up to the halfway mark. No scorers yet. Japan trails with that one Shido. Takayama trying to get past that very defensive left arm, as you can see, that's under the arm and caught onto the lapel there. Very strong upright posture as she throws the right hand, tries to connect with Takayama's head, which Takayama quickly dismisses by trying to take control of that right sleeve, but hasn't managed to do a good job as yet with controlling.
She's not quite the finished article yet, Ma Junjiao. You know,
No.
Athletically and the physical build, everything is perfect
She's
for this
very
weight
strong
category.
looking, very strong looking athlete.
You know, she similar build to Anna Maria Wagner, for example.
Yes.
You know, that's the kind of physical presence that you want to bring to the weight category. A little bit like Madeline Malonga. They're all that kind of
That
a
shape,
build,
yes.
but she hasn't quite yet got the technical part of it done yet. They had who was it they had before? Chang Se-hui, the Chinese athlete who was in the weight category before her, similar build and size, but she ended up with the same kind of problems. You know, good physical preparedness, but the technical ability wasn't quite there. It's a nice effort there from Takayama.
That Seo Toshi there was very close indeed, and Ma did well to defend off that. And yeah, this is a young lady that's got a lot of promise really for China, I think.
Yeah,
she was
if
fifth
she's
place
22
in
or
the World
23.
Championship. She's 21 years of age.
Oh, okay.
Maybe coming up to 22 years of age. But she got a bronze medal in Abu Dhabi, and she's Asian champion, but she picked up a 5th place in the World Championship, so she was just outside the medals, and that's some going really, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Goes left-sided that time against Takayama. She gives a little tap on the right foot. I think that's what's brought her to her knees, actually. Whack on the foot there. Ended up giving a second Shido, but there's only a few seconds left to go. But what you don't want to be doing is to go into a golden score period with 2 penalties.
Exactly.
It really makes it difficult for you, because a third Shido and you're out. And if Ma is tactically astute she can really
Yes,
close things down for both of them.
And that's the question, is she
exactly,
going to be tactically aware? She's got a cracking Ouchigari. We haven't actually seen that yet, but Nikiforova of Russia, she absolutely spanked with the Ouchigari in the second round. It was an amazing technique, it really was.
Goes back to the Osodagari there, but loses contact with the hands. She managed to get an attack in. Well, I should really look to step up the pressure here, make things difficult for gripping initially, so that it forces Takayama, who knows that she's got to attack, forces her to attack when she really doesn't want to. She'll be weak in the attacks. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, she's still allowing her to stay comfortable, isn't she? Playing the same pace and really playing into the strengths of Takayama. She's allowing her too much room for manoeuvring.
Yeah, we know what happens when you do that.
Oh gosh,
you're going to end up getting caught.
Yeah, definitely.
Still, we've had the first minute, no errors from Ma. Just got to keep up our own rate of attacks, just leave a little bit of a knuckle dust to Takayama. Takayama shrugged that off.
Well, Takayama, she knows how to fight, there's no doubt about it. She was up against Malzen in the quarter-final stage where she defeated her there.
That was bruising. That was
a
battle,
real battle and a half, wasn't it? And Malzen, she is an amazing athlete, and really, Malzen completely struggles with her. She draws that arm across her chest there. Takayama looks to be trying to set up what seems to be the Osotogari off there.
Yeah, see, she's forced that. Well, this is one of the things that we were saying. And now we were talking about being tactically astute. For my mind, Ma fell into that. She wasn't deliberately trying to be negative there. It was just something that happened.
Yes.
And Takayama shouldn't have allowed that to happen. She had to be tactically astute to look at the scoreboard and think, I can't get involved in that kind of gripping thing. She can pick up the penalty. I don't mind if Ma picks one up, but I'm not going to. I can't allow Ma just to take this one.
Yeah, and she did. She just allowed her to play that game.
You have to be looking at the scoreboard and knowing just how much you've got to be into the contest, and she wasn't.
I think with some of these athletes, it's like the fear to try and do something different. They just stick to what they know, and it's that fear. And for me, sometimes you've got to be really gutsy, and you've got to be brave. Well, and she wasn't gutsy, and she wasn't brave for that bronze medal.
We'll see whether we see bravery and guts in the next contest.
Oh gosh, we're going to see fireworks, I think, on this one, to be honest. This is going to be a very physical battle. Both two very aggressive women in this weight category. This is going to be very interesting indeed.
Kaliema Antomarchi of Cuba faces Audrey Chimeo of France. It'll be Antomarchi in the white judogi, Chimeo in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Turbat Ensetse of Mongolia.
Well, Chimeo fell at the last hurdle in the semi-final against Wagner of Germany, who's in the final. We'll see her a little bit later on, and that was a really interesting, but it was a very, very physical match, and she lost on the hand sokomaki. Now, Chimeo is one of these that she does like picking up the shidos and giving herself the problems right at an early stage. She was in the semi-finals, and she was 2 shidos down in the first minute and a half. And that was against someone like Wagner, that was a difficult thing, a task to try and come back from. Now, where you have Antomarchi, she definitely can scrap, there's no doubt about it. She's a very physical young lady. And again, she lost out on the hand sokomakis to get into the semi-final against Posviti of France.
Yeah, I don't think that Fanny Estel Posvit, France, is going to cause Chimio that degree of concern about, you know, the future. I think there's just enough left in the tank for Chimio to take it. It's a little bit late for Posvit to be thinking in terms of becoming, you know, the number one and, you know, taking over that spot from Chimio.
Yes, Chimeo is one of these that she's firmly in there. When you look at her track record of what Chimeo's actually done, she's got what, 2 world titles and 3 other medals. She's got a gold, a silver, and bronze. She's got 2 Olympic medals, and she's also Paris Grand Slam. When you look at all that, she's really got a few belts, results under her belt.
Yeah, I mean, Chimeo's biggest worry isn't, you know, those who are behind her. How Sama Kamara is one of them, and Fanny Estel Posvit.
Yeah, they've got some players.
It's who's in front of her, and that's Madeleine Malonga. So it's Malonga for me, who's in the driving seat.
And Malonga is a big thrower, but do you know, I think sometimes Chimeo's biggest hurdle is herself. I really do. I think she battles against herself, and her sometimes it's a hot and cold. One event she is fantastic. The next time we see her, she's down Shidos, and she's not engaged in the competition itself. There's just something that's just given her that block within the tournament itself, whether it's someone that's upset her right at the beginning and it's just gone horribly wrong. But I think you could play a lot of mind games with this young lady.
Speaking of Shidos, both fighters have picked up 2 apiece. She's gone down on her side there, but not quite enough for a score.
No, a nice lift. So both lost to get further themselves into the final by Hans Sokumaki, and now they're both again with 2 Shidos apiece, which means they could actually lose a bronze medal on a Hans Sokumaki as well.
There's a nice shot there that illustrated why there was no score given for that. Landed on the elbow and turned onto a front, so no score. Into the last minute then. Shame about the penalties. This hasn't been an unattractive contest.
No,
it's been a little bit difficult.
No, it hasn't. It's been interesting. There is an element of excitement within this match because it's very physical. There's no doubt about it. And Chimeo she was countering there, but she was really given the big message of what she was trying to do. She needed to be a little bit more sharper on that, which meant that Ontomashi could actually react and maneuver herself in a better advantage situation.
Last half a minute then.
Well, both looking very focused indeed. Ontomashi with those long limbs, she's a little bit more wiry and she's a bit sharper in her reactions, where Chimeo is a bit more physical. She draws in slowly and slowly until she gets the advantage, but by that time, that slowness allows Ontomashi to get in and react just before her, just pipping her at the post each time.
Well, that was a good example there. She was backed up on the edge of the contest area. Chimeo was pressing forward. Ontomashi doesn't want to step out, so she turns in, puts in the Maki Komi, and almost comes up with a score, actually.
Yep. As you can see, that Ontomashi throws that arm over, very sharp in throwing the arm over. Doesn't really connect, but Chimeo, again, physically marches into her. She draws her opponent. She's got the high collar. She's digging in very deep now. There's a lot of power there. But the sharpness isn't the reaction, what she's setting up, but doing nothing.
I haven't seen the
Ontomashi straight in.
I haven't seen the kind of footwork from Chimeo that we know she's capable of either.
And she's looking very, very heavy-footed at this particular moment. Once more, Antoine, she throws that arm over the top. Chimeo lets go. Dangerous, very, very dangerous. She had no control whatsoever there. Left herself a little bit vulnerable. Antoine, she throws that arm once again. Looking to find the time. She gets those hips through. Again, another good attack.
Yes, as you say, just as Chermio's thinking about doing something,
she's thinking, but she's not
Antomarchi's
doing.
in. Yeah.
What I think she's looking for, which she's doing it in a very, very slow pace, is that she's looking for the switch. She's trying to show a hip forward and then come round the back for the counter. But her feet are so flat, it's just not working. And there you have it, the
penalty,
third and final Shido.
Yep, just hung on for a little bit too long there. Chermio finishes in 5th place, but it's Guillermo Antomarchi of Cuba who takes the 2nd of the bronze medals in the under 78 kilo category. We'll have a look at the highlights and then we'll be back with the final.
This is for medal number 5 in a Grand Prix. Guillermo Antomarchi, Cuba. Here's the figures, the highlights of this bronze medal contest on the screen.
Right, we come now to the final of the under 78 kilo category. Anna Maria Wagner of Germany faces Fanny Estelle Posvit of France. It'll be Wagner in the white judogi, Posvit in blue, the referee in the middle. But this one is Vladimir Nutsibidze of Georgia.
Well, looking ahead to head, well, you would say Wagner has a slight advantage there. She's right up there on the world ranking list. She's got a few very impressive results under her belt already. Baku just recently a silver medal. Also in Antalya and Marrakesh took the gold medal there. This junior world bronze medalist and under 23 European medalist is someone to be watching out for. She comes onto our screen looking very positive indeed. Very positive against positive. Posvit, 26 years of age, 42 on the world ranking, a 5th place back in 2015 in the World Championships. Zagreb back in 2017 was silver medalist in Tbilisi, this year bronze. So she's a young lady that can upset 1 or 2 people along the way, and she's now in this final, and she really has had to work hard to find herself in this position. Takayama she defeated in that semi-final, and she did extremely well there. Went into the golden score, and in fact beat her with a Makikomi into the Osakomi, so it was a great win in that semi-final, find herself in for a chance of this gold medal.
Well, I think she's made the move from 70 to under 78 kilos at the right time. It's given her plenty of time to see this cycle out and then to get in a strong position, because we're going to see the end of Chermio in Tokyo, I'm sure. She won't go another cycle to Paris. She won't be able to continue that.
Well, they've got a few youngsters coming through, haven't they?
And it will be Posvit and Malonga really to battle it out, because Malonga's not going anywhere yet. She's well set in the category. Those will be the two who will want to have home advantage way down the road in the future when we look to Paris 2024.
Well, that's what they'll be aiming for, the good results there in Paris. It all lies on that. When Well, here we have Wagner, though. She's
only thinking about Tokyo.
She's thinking about Tokyo, there's no doubt about it. But she's really had a few challenges with the French. She had Chimeo in that semi-final, and that really did go to... It was a tough one for her.
Just steps off that one.
She defeated Chimeo with the hand sokomaki.
Well, she's got her own challenges at home as well, with Louisa
Yes.
Malzahn, who's, breathing down her neck as well.
And very good. Great athletes, no doubt about it, great athletes. Well, she's doing really well here, both of them. Working extremely hard. I think, for me, Wagner's got the upper hand at this particular moment. She's slightly ahead.
Yeah, she's the one who looks as though she's going to work things out.
Yes.
She's taking a little bit of time.
She's a lot more proactive in this contest. She's taken a little bit more control of the pace in which this contest is going. She's hooking in with those long legs, the Uchiuchimata combination, and Posvit is really just, she's reacting. That's all she's doing. She's reacting based on the actions that Wagner is taking at this particular moment.
She'd like to find something on the end of that Uchimata as well, because once Posvit steps off it, there's an opportunity to come up with something else.
She's got good Niwaza as well, the German. So she's an all-rounder that when she does get an opportunity down in the ground, she will take full advantage of that.
Taking her time to get back to the start point, just tidying up a gi and getting herself ready for the next onslaught.
She had a good results so far, Wagner, throughout this day. First match, she had a bye in the first round. Second round, she was up against Wang, where she defeated with a beautiful Uchimata for Ippon.
Good chance here for Wagner. Didn't finish it off.
No.
The Posvit was really tight in there on the ground and was making sure that there was first of all, no chance for the Shimiwaza attempt,
Yes.
and then no chance for any kind of continuation of her being in Tachiwaza and Posvit being on the ground.
Posvit, as you can see, just chasing. She's trying to get past those long limbs, not having her own way. Wagner just literally setting it up, trying to get that arm over the top. Posvit trying to control that right sleeve. She knows that is the danger. She's got the Osotogari.
Yeah, just falling off on the wrong side there without the control from Posvit, but a good strong attack there from the French fighter. 20 odd seconds left to go.
Both circling around each other, looking for an ideal opportunity to come through with that arm. Posvit looking to just control that right-handed sleeve. She knows that's the danger. Tactically, she's fully aware of what she has to do, but while trying to control the sleeve, she really has to try and find some other way of staying engaged actively with the judo, rather than the sort of the stopping process of this contest. Ochigari from Posvit. She's got a high collar grip. Osotogari into the Makagomi. Yes!
That's what was needed.
She's got it. 29 seconds. Golden score. And she comes up with the Osoto Makagomi.
And the first time that one of the fighters comes up with a combination over their opponent goes. It was Wagner, really, who I thought might come up with the combination, but it was Posvit who managed it in the end. She walks away with the gold medal.
Well, she shakes her head there, and she knows that was a very tough match indeed. She was up against a strong opponent. Full respect to Wagner, who came out to win, but sadly not today. But a silver medal she takes home to Germany. And most importantly, some very important Olympic qualification points.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing for her is that, you know, you've got Madeline Malonga up there at 3.5, nearly 4,000, and Posvik down at 500. So, yeah.
But for Wagner, it's a good result.
Oh, Wagner, yeah. It just helps her along on her way. I thought you meant Posvik.
No, for Posvik, this is great. She's come in, she's done extremely well. But there's too many hurdles for her in home ground.
But now let's go back to what you were saying about Wagner. That's absolutely right. You know, a silver medal, like Maidov, he'll be unhappy at silver. Wagner's going to be unhappy with silver. But they're going to, at some stage, look at their points tally, and these will be important points for them. So it's a good point that Loretta Cusack-Doyle makes here. It's not only about the medal colour that goes round your neck. In this qualification period, you know, what did they used to say? Points make prizes. There you go. We're on the same page there, Loretta.
I think you call that an age thing.
Now, I'm not even sure if it's a page that anybody understands any longer, but there you go. Right, we come now to the awarding ceremony for the men in the under 90 kilo category. We've got the 4 medalists lined up and ready to go. Let's see who it is that picks up the medals here. The first of the bronze medals goes to Georgi Papunashvili of Georgia. There's a bronze medal also for Ivan Felipe Silva Morales of Cuba. The silver medal goes to Nemanja Maidov of Serbia. The gold medal goes to Nagasawa Kenta of Japan.
Prize money and the flowers will be presented by the Director of Sports Administrative Center of Inner Mongolia. 有请内蒙古自治区重竞技运动管理中心主任曹武先生为获奖运动员颁发奖牌及鲜花。 Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Japan. 请全体起立，奏日本国国歌。
And now the national anthem of Japan.
Thank you very much. Family picture. We will present best judoka of this category under 90 kg. 请合影留念。
Papunashvili and Morales were the bronze medal winners. Maidov took the silver, and it was Nagasawa to take the gold medal. Papunashvili just about managing to stay on the podium there as the fighters get that little bit broader in size. That number 1 spot becomes more difficult to get 4 on. I'm going to see what happens when they get the plus 100 kilo guys up there. Well, we have the under 100 kilo category coming up next. The first of the bronze medal contests features Arman Adamian of Russia. He's up against Lagvasuren Otganbatar of Mongolia. It'll be Adamian in the white judogi, Lagvasuren in blue. The referee in the middle for this one, Olivier de Roses of France.
Well, if you looked at the statistics there, you would say possibly the Mongolian has the edge on this, but based on performances here today, I fancy the chances here with the Russian Adaman. 29 on the world ranking list, but my goodness, what a fighter and what a thrower he has been today. Sadly, because of the draw, he wasn't in the top 4 seeding, but so he came up against Choi in the quarterfinal stage, which knocked him into the repechage. But with the first opening match against the Chinese opponent, Zhang, he came in with a beautiful Uchimata in the left-handed side. So for me, that was really impressive. And then battled away in the repechage.
Yeah, Adamian's got really good throwing skills.
Oh, he is. He's got nice judo feel. But he is up against a very experienced Mongolian, there's no doubt about it.
Powerfully built as well, like for Surin.
Like for Surin, yeah.
Not going to be easy to get past him.
World bronze medalist, Masters silver medalist, and Asian Pacific champion. Just those on his own, but that's not all the other results that he's got under his belt. Russian there, as you can see, he's got that left hand on the collar, which he does like. Like for Zorin, controlling that left hand though, not for long. An aggressive break of grip comes from the Russian. Throws that arm deep, and just as he throws, the referee calls mate and decides to give both a Shido.
Not a great deal going on, I'm afraid. So
that's it, and it's a very early start to start accumulating these Shidos. Comes in with the Osota into a Makakomi. High collar grip, he pulls Lakfasoren's head down. As you can see, that hand on the rib defending quite nicely. He'll pick up a Shido, and there it is, second one. And we're not even halfway yet. So, trailing with 2 Shidos, one more would result in the hand Sokimaki. Disqualification. A loss of the bronze medal. But Adaman really needs to stay composed. Tactically, he could play a really good match here. It's that left hand over the top, at cross grip, as you can see from Lakfasoren. Draws his opponent in, and this is a dangerous situation, but the hips are through there for the Russian. That particular moment just held my breath. I wasn't quite sure which way that was going to go.
And Lakfasoren held his breath as well, because he was concerned that he'd stepped out of the competition area, but he'd come under attack from Adamian, so that was okay.
Adamian comes under attack there with the Seanagi. Adamian takes the skirt, tries to draw that left hand once over. Mongolian swiftly spins out of it. Again, he's reaching for that left. As you can see, he's really frustrated not being able to get that as quickly as he was hoping for. But Mongolian has obviously done his homework against his opponent. He draws onto the back. Now this is dangerous for the Mongolian. But there you see it. Lakfasoren coming in with the Ouchigaru, which was a nice move, but then tries the Seanagi and falls very short of getting a good turn on this. And those type of techniques, he's got to be careful. We're both picking up a Shido apiece now. Well, a little bit surprised if they were going to give one out. I thought they would have given them both.
A little cut. Cut on the ear, I think. So they'll tidy that up, and then Lakfasoren will come back to the tatami. Former world champion there.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Yeah, Adamian really has got he's given himself a bit of time now to compose himself. Not the easiest thing to do is to be out there all alone with only your thoughts of what to do next. Well, as his opponent gets patched up,
we may yet see the gentleman in that white T-shirt in a couple of minutes' time. He's the coach for Naiden Tufshinbayer. Hang on to your seats for that one. The Torga will be down in a few minutes and there'll be more action. We're just waiting for Lagvasuren to come back to the tatami. He just picked up a cut on the right ear. And as soon as they've tidied that up, he'll be back on the tatami. But cuts to the ear are nothing new to judoka. Sometimes you get lucky and you've got a fighting style where you avoid picking up cuts to the ear. Other times you just happen to be that kind of player and you've got that kind of style where you attract them like as though you're a magnet, and you end up with nasty cauliflower ears. You see, Adamian, you couldn't tell. He got no damage, he's got nice clean ears.
he can duck.
Yeah, he can duck. Tong Wen as well, the former Olympic champion and 7 times world champion, was in the middle of that shot. She's part of the coaching staff for the Chinese. And then to finish off on that thing about the ears, you can see Adam, and he looks, he could be anybody, couldn't he? There's no sign of him being involved in, a contact sport, maybe like judo or rugby or something. You just once in a while you get that.
And when you think of the depth that they have in Russia and the physical side of their judo, it's surprising he doesn't have a cauliflower.
Yeah. Well, some people are lucky.
Yeah.
And now that Lagvasuren is making his way back to the tatami, you'll see a full strapping around the head, and then a little bit that they've used to tape up on the right side. That's the left side. But as soon as he turns, there's just at the back of the head there. It's actually slipped off already. It's so hard to just tape that.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? It's a very difficult one to strap. And Chigari.
Oh. He was so close to going over there.
Oh, yeah, and he keeps going.
Damien wants to know why it is that he hasn't been called for nearly breaking his arm off. He didn't like that at all.
No. The most important thing is that he doesn't dwell on it too long, because this gives full advantage to his opponent. A little bit of a confidence boost for the Mongolian.
There would have been the chance of a penalty if Lagvasuren had attempted to throw Adamian whilst applying pressure to the arm, but the pressure didn't come on the arm until he attempted to turn him over, and that's okay.
That's fine, you can get away with that.
Yeah, he's still feeling the effects of that, rubbing his left elbow quite vigorously. Oh well, might slow him up for a bit. Belgian Yam in the chair for Lagvasuren.
Well, he's got a set of lugs there, isn't he, Rick?
Well, you can tell what he's been involved in. Look, Thanks for that illustration. That was a good illustration of an air that's come under some pressure. Golden score then, 2 penalties apiece. Left-sided effort from Adamian, but Lagvasuren was up to defending that, and Adamian just ended up falling flat on his front. He's keeping up the rate of attacks though, that's the important thing, especially in this golden score period where they tend to just be that little bit tighter, don't they?
They both have to keep actively engaged in this contest. 2 Shidos apiece, either one of them just steps off the gas and that Shido will be awarded, so neither one of them can really flag here now or make any silly errors at all. Versuren, though, is looking a little bit more beefier out there. He's a bit more aggressive and forthright in this contest. He's taken a little bit more onus on the pace of which this match is now going in golden score, unlike his opponent, who just seems to be trying to survive at this particular time.
He's just taking a little bit longer, Adamian, to set up the attacks. He was slightly desperate there.
That was a real sort of grit and determination, wasn't it? I don't know whether it's the bleeding has stopped.
Possibly enough for them to continue. And the referee's tucked that tape away in his jacket pocket. He may regret that later when he attempts to get it out. Anyway, we back on with the action. Left-sided effort from Versuren, and
good attack there, definitely a good attack, and it's going to be in the mind of the referee to see how Adamian does.
Well, we give Adamian the benefit of the doubt for saying that he moved around to his left to avoid that. Mind you, it was only a couple of seconds ago that he had attacked, so, you know, they're kind of level.
Yeah. Well, Adamian trying to tuck in his gi and tidy himself up. Straight away it looked for Zaren. On the attack, the drop, Sianagi there. Oh, it was deep. Got him up in the air. Well, oh. I don't know if you sense what I sense, possibly the third and final Shido. That was two very, very strong attacks, and there you have it.
Shame, really, because for me, a third one, well, there's no answer to that. You know, he did bow. Thanks very much.
Well, the thing is, they don't have to greet each other after they bow.
That's right.
It's about bowing and then leaving the tatami.
Yeah.
There's no, so he didn't have to hang around.
Well, he's obviously not happy about, you know, what happened with the arm. But I think that's also highlighted by the fact that he'd attacked not that long ago. All right, like Versuren put in 2 attacks, but normally, you know, you get the third. And you can't argue with 3 attacks.
No.
2, well, you know, and it wasn't that bad a contest.
No, I thought it was a very interesting contest.
Shame it ended on the penalties.
Yeah, that's the sad thing about it, that it did end up on penalties and Hans Sokamaki out of the contest. But hey, that's the way it goes. 2 very strong athletes that had battled away throughout the day and ended up having the last battle. We've
got a second bronze medal contest coming up in the under 100 kilo category now. Karl-Richard Frey of Germany faces Shadi El Nahas of Canada. It's Frey in the white judogi, El Nahas in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Amano Akiko of Japan.
Well, this Canadian really, for me, has been quite special. He's got wonderful Koichigaki that we saw in the opening round that just had me on the edge of my seat watching him throughout the day. And I must admit, I was very, very impressed. He defeated in the second round with the display of a beautiful Uchimata, but then sadly came up against the number 1 seed, and that was Cho in that semi-final, which then stopped him in his tracks to then have to battle away for a bronze medal. But up until then, for me, this is someone that looked on target to being in that final.
He's carrying a little bit of an injury, Shadi El Nahas, which is unfortunate because Karl-Richard Frey is normally a really well-prepared, a physically well-prepared and strong fighter. So it's a shame that El Nahas is coming into the contest with a bit of an injury. But let's see how he gets on.
Well, the Canadian, as you can see, comes round the back, the hips come through. A very aggressive start, dominating the pace of this contest. El Nahas, a Pan-American champion. Also took a silver medal in Osaka and a bronze in Ekaterinburg, showing the quality of athlete he truly is. And like I said, right at the beginning, he was someone that it brought me to his attention with the amount of the capability that he has of throwing and throwing big, and a good range of technical ability, which is very, very nice to see. Bit dangerous there though, as he turns his back on Frey. Comes now in for a Cianagi. The Canadian down in there, looking for an opportunity to capitalise in the Niwaza, but sadly there was nothing on offer there at this time. Frey medals in Abu Dhabi and in Baku, and now here in Hohhot.
Well, I was talking about the physical strength of Karl-Richard Frey, and I think you saw it there.
Yes, yeah.
And El Nahas's inability to defend against that, I'm sure, has got something to do with his being injured. I think it's a rib injury, and it just really limits you.
Has he come with that, or is he just
during the day?
Well, I've watched him, but I didn't see where he picked up the injury. I was just impressed with this Canadian, how good he was with his techniques, that it really distracted me from him having any problems whatsoever. When you're doing techniques like the Koichigaku, you wouldn't expect someone's got a bad rib, but maybe it was on the receiving end of Choi in that semi-quarterfinal stage.
Well, I had a chat with him in the warm-up area during the break, so it must have been in that semi-final.
Yes, it must have been the semi-final against Choi.
Shame, really.
Because the 2 matches prior to that, he was amazing. But what a throw, what a finish for this young man. And you can see on his face, I think he was happy with that.
Good save, I think.
Good lift, power of the man. Having that height advantage really did pay off, didn't it? But like you say, if it was a rib injury, he wouldn't have been able to have the core strength that he would normally have to brace against that, to keep his weight forward, to stop himself being lifted as high as he was.
Especially against someone with the kind of power that Karl-Richard Frey has.
Well, he came in really nicely. Yeah. The core was there. Lift, rotation, beautiful finish, and our bronze medal to go with the rest of his collection.
We've got the final of the under 100 kilo category coming up next. Cho Kwon of the Republic of Korea faces Benjamin Fletcher of Ireland. It'll be Cho in the white judogi, Fletcher in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Vyacheslav Peretyeko of Uzbekistan. There's Loretta.
Well, when you look at the statistics there, you've got the world ranking 2 to 9. Well, they're not miles apart from each other there, but you have Choi, world champion back in 2018, and in Tokyo, he was a gold medalist in 2017. Someone who's just recent results and doesn't have a silver medal, so this is somebody that's hitting some very strong down. But talking about targets, talking about results, you've got Benjamin Fletcher, 27 years of age, and he's medalled in Marrakesh, Dusseldorf, Tunis. He's got two Grand Slam medals, and he's got 2 gold Grand Prix medals. This is someone that we've seen in the past 18 months that is just getting better and better, and he's reinventing himself as far as his judo is concerned. And we've seen some very nifty katakuruma movements from him in previous matches throughout the day that has been very impressive. But there's always a but to it. He has a grip with that throw that he uses, which is interpreted, as you can see right now, as a pistol grip as he tries to set it up. And he's picked up a few shidos for doing that. So As we know, referees will keep something going if they know it's effective and it's actually going to score. But if it doesn't enter into the attack with that grip, he's going to pick the Shidos up very quickly. In this gold medal contest against Choi, he can't afford to give any percentages away. He cannot afford to give a Shido away.
So it is who picked up the Shido, actually, for the drop. Got it under some pressure.
Well,
And now there's the pistol grip penalty that Loretta was talking about. Fletcher looked up towards the control table as though, really? And
well, yes, he did that before, and he got away with it once, but then he literally within seconds of the same match, he got penalised for it again. So he's really got to work that one. He's got to go take that one home and see where he can avoid picking up these Shidos so quickly in a contest.
Cho is, I suppose, the way to describe it is a slow starter. And in every contest that he's been involved in today, he's either had to come from behind or he's been taken into golden score and pushed all the way. The difficulty, however, for Ben Fletcher is that the harder you push him, the greater the likelihood is that he comes up with something special.
You just make him angry. So he overstretches there, Ben Fletcher. He really has to be careful on that because the Tewaza was in position to get an exchange on that to counter. And he left himself a little bit vulnerable.
Yeah, he's not got that red back patch for nothing.
No, that's true.
Cho Guam, current world champion.
Whoa, beautiful Kochigari. Well reacted by Fletcher. Oh, he did well to get off that, but how sharp that Kochigari was from Cho. That shows you why he's got that red back patch.
Yeah, if he'd been able to keep hold with the hands.
Oh, yeah, he would have buried him on that one. Cross grip comes in for that Cianagi that he did pick up a penalty earlier on for. Again, it wasn't as impressive, but a little bit deeper this time, but still not effective enough to get a result out of it or even an exchange break and balance. But this time it was.
Cho's fighting style as well, I would label as being complete Korean. You know, you see that, and now Fletcher falls behind, having picked up a second penalty this time for passivity. And this is where you're going to see the Korean fighting style that I'm talking about. Cho's going to begin to step up the attacks.
Shigari there, lovely Kochi once more, but Fletcher reacts again very sharply. Now, the one thing with Fletcher, what I do like about him is that he really is a gutsy fighter, and he will fight back. He won't just keep playing the same game. He'll really come back, even if it costs him getting caught by really challenging him. He won't just lay back just doing what he normally does. We will see a real effort coming from him. Hopefully he'll get a chance because he's got two Shidos. If he doesn't put the attacks in, he's going to get the third and final Shido and a Hansokumaki. And I think he'd rather go out being thrown for 10 than actually being disqualified out of the contest.
Well, he's on a bit of a knife edge here.
Yeah, well, he's got to really put an attack in now. He's been caught twice with the Kochigari in there again. It's like he's toiling with him. Absolutely toiling with him. There's his sister, Megan Fletcher, who sadly didn't have a great performance yesterday, but I know she'll bounce back very quickly. But she's doing extremely well.
He's going to go here.
Right. Sort of sense that possibly the third one is coming, and yeah. He just couldn't get hands on him, could he? When no sooner that he'd been able to set up with the grip, Choi had the Kochigari, he just kept hitting him on the grip, and that's why he's got that red batch patch. That's, for me, world class.
There's some ways that I like to see a fighter win. This is not one of them.
Yeah.
You know, because the second that Fletcher has that second Shido, Cho's game is completely different.
Yeah.
He's got the ability to put in attack after attack after attack without really risking a great deal. None of those attacks really risked a great deal. What he knew he was going to do was to build up a picture that said, I'm the positive one here, your man is negative. And after it was 4 attacks. He managed to get 4 attacks in and none for Ben. Just too clever, outwitted him there.
Very clever athlete indeed.
Right, we come now to the awarding ceremony for the women in the under 78 kilo category. The athletes are lined up and ready to go, and the first of the bronze medal goes to Kiliama Antomachi of Cuba. There's a bronze medal also for Ma Zhenzhao of China. Silver medal goes to Anna Maria Wagner of Germany. The gold medal goes to Fanny Estelle Posvit of France. National anthem of France. Time for they call it the family picture. I don't think any of them are related up there.
There's a lot of love in the air there.
But yeah, why not? Just refer to it as that. Antomachi and Ma were the bronze medal winners. Wagner took the silver, Posvit took the gold, and there you go, nice smiling quartet.
Oh, they do love a picture, don't they? Very pretty bunch.
We've got two more weight categories to bring you, and they are what I like to refer to as the super heavyweights. And we'll start with the women in the plus 78 kilo category. Xu Shiyan of China faces Julia Tolafua of France. It'll be Xu in the white judogi, Tolafua in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Gostini Balas of Hungary.
Oh yes, super heavyweights, and it'll be quite interesting to see how these two battle it out. Also one of the largest weight categories, 14 judokas participated, and but there were some interesting matches throughout the day and some big throws from some of these big ladies.
In the chair for Xu is someone that we mentioned earlier on, Yang Xuli, the Olympic champion at under 78 kilos from Beijing. Taking a seat now. Mabi Benbadoud is in the chair for Julia Tolafua.
Well, Tolafua, she's a big lady. She's very, very tall amongst this weight category, and comes straight in for the attack with that Uchimata. Has the height advantage on this match, but Xu, for me, She's again another big thrower. She's one to watch. You can't underestimate her. She's really battled away here for a place for this bronze medal.
The French have got the current Olympic champion at plus 78 kilos, Amélie Andiol. She wrapped it up and said, "I've had enough after Rio." Why not?
Why not? You go on a high, don't you? That's the thing. You go on a high.
Little right-sided effort from Xu. That doesn't really trouble Tolofua, however. And there are plenty of heavyweights to choose from in China. No doubt they'll have prepared someone well enough by the time that Tokyo 2020 comes around. I still think they've got time to find the right one.
Well, Tolofua lost in that semi-final position against the Japanese Akiba.
Slightly new to the party, isn't she, the Japanese?
Yeah, and she's very, very small. And it really did cause her one or two problems, and it was a long, drawn-out match. There was no doubt about it, and it just wore her down. And it was eventually she did catch her for a pon with the Osotogari, but well, no, sorry, not on that one. She didn't. She got the Hansokamaki on that last match. So, and really, she just couldn't get it in for a shout on attacking her opponent.
Penalty picked up there by Xu.
Wasn't really many results from this young lady. Xu in the Hong Kong Asian Open last year was silver medalist. 62 on the world ranking and 22 years of age.
Cyril Marais, he had a bash earlier on today. He's probably not as happy as he would like to be. No,
he had he fell at the first hurdle, didn't he? Yeah. Which was a real disappointment for him.
Normally be guaranteed to get a big smile and a wave from him, but today I think he's had enough.
Bad day at the office.
Not a bad little effort there from Xu.
Well, Tolofua really has to start stepping up a gear or two at this moment. She's been one pace and a little bit disengaged in this contest up until now. Really has to start getting those legs in. With that Uchimata, she's got the height. She brings that right arm high over the top, now onto the belt, the Osota, and she comes in for the Osota Makikomi, but as you can see, she just falls onto her face. She will pick up possibly a Shido if she's not careful on that one. Now that was a blatant get out of trouble card, that one. So she was lucky to not pick the second Shido up. Once Tolofua comes over the top, onto the belt, hooks on for that leg for an exchange of two ways. But again, Xu just falls onto her face once more. So
I can't see her getting away with this one.
No. And there she gets the second Shido. Does that again, she's in trouble.
She's got to find a way of dealing with that big right arm, and it's not by bending over further. There she goes again.
Now another. Whoa!
Yeah, Rosari, good work there.
Me. Whoa, what a turnaround. 45 seconds remaining.
She did find a way out.
She did find, she was obviously listening to you on that one. And she digs away in knee. Was it rightly so as the clock ticks away? And Tolofua was thinking, oh my goodness me, now I've got to do some work.
Good timing.
Timed it perfectly. Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. We've almost written her off at that stage. Well, sadly I was, but there is a little bit of life in this young lady. Tolofua really needs to put the pressure on, but with two Shidos against you, you can't afford to just hang on. She makes a mistake, she drops on her face like she's done before. The third and final Shido will be awarded.
12 seconds. Sorry, 12 seconds left to go. Got to stay upright here. Got to be strong in the grips. Can't afford to let that right arm go over the top and pull her in again.
Tolofua really has to pile the pressure on. She really. Oh well, what a rescue. She really, the French girl really needed to pile that pressure on from the 30 seconds onwards. She just let too many seconds just go by. And Xu there takes the bronze medal for China.
She was lucky that right at the end there, Tolofua didn't have the power to unleash that Uchimata, because she got herself into a good position. She did manage to get the right arm at the top. She did get across with Uchimata. She just didn't have any power left.
No time, no power, because, frustrating.
So, Xu Cheyan of China picks up a bronze medal in the plus 78 kilo category. Nice round of applause for her as well. Not a great deal for the Chinese to celebrate today. That will be the one medal that they can take, apart from Ma. Ma was really good in the under 78 kilo category.
Congratulations, this is the first medal in the Grand Prix for Xu Cheyan.
Yep. That goes with the Hong Kong Asian Open Championship medal.
It's nice, actually. A good bit of work. She obviously knows the mechanics of this. This good finish here, look.
Well, there she comes round the back, and she really does have a good leverage. She comes in very, very deep. And for such a big lady, did have a bit of mobility to be able to reach, and the core strength to get that lift. And that's quite important. Otherwise, she would have landed on her own back without that.
There's the lift and the turn.
Yeah, so she was agile enough to do that. So give her full credit. It was a good attack and timed very nicely.
Just managed to hang on. Always the danger thing is the fact that you've picked up 2 penalties. You've got that amount of time to play with. Well, you haven't got the comfort of having only one Shido. Can't afford to make a mistake. Right, we have got the second of the bronze medal contests coming up in the plus 78 kilo category. Xenia Chibisova of Russia faces Yasmin Kulbs of Germany. It'll be Chibisova in the white judogi, Kulbs in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Jean-Claude Chimbi of Gabon.
Well, you've got Kulbs there, 3 wins to 1. She's got to be quietly confident as she comes into this contest. She has had 1 slip up though, so she knows she's capable of being beaten by her opponent. But when you've got 3 wins, was that last one a bit of a fluke? Well, she's had some quite good results over the past. Ekaterinburg, she was a silver medalist. Antalya this year, bronze, and the European silver medalist back in 2015. She was over in Cancun last year, was a bronze medalist. Definitely capable of taking medals and places on that podium. She's quite a tall athlete, really good size athlete, I feel, for this weight category. But Kulbs, very experienced athlete. Girl's been defeated by Ortiz of Cuba, the number 1 seed.
No shame in that.
No shame for being by an Olympic and world champion.
Who else did she go
Time's
down to?
over, and then that was in the semi-finals she lost to.
Needs to get another hand on here, Kulbs, or she'll get the penalty. Shouldn't have let that happen, Yasmin Kulbs. A lot cleverer than that.
She gave a big message saying, "Here I come" on that one. She only had the 1 hand on, so she really needs to take a good strong grip here. Had to have a much more control and watch her actions. And Chibisova, as you can see, high collar grip, falls onto her knees, and why someone of that stature, that size and power would need to have to collapse like that is beyond me. Chibisova will take a Shido.
Now,
You've got it.
I like that from the referee, because it happened a while ago, but he didn't call mate. he allowed Yasmin Kulbs the opportunity to attack in Newaza because she had the advantage there. So Chibisova, having fallen onto her front, was, you know, at a disadvantage. Kulbs then went in for the attack. It didn't go anywhere, but he hadn't forgotten. He said, hey, you know, there's the false attack. The problem now is that Kulbs has picked up a second penalty with 2.5 minutes left to go on the clock.
Scary, isn't it? And the high collar grip comes in, the hooking in with the Ouchi Uchimata, with the Makakomi lingering at the end of that.
I'm glad you said that, because the lingering, it also, I know what you mean, to suggest that she just threw that in as something to get out of what she felt was dangerous. She wasn't in any danger there.
No.
A full attempt at Makikomi there would have put Kulbs in some real trouble. But she collapsed. Looking at safety first. That is a thing that your body says to you, I think I might be in danger here.
Yeah, just trying to protect herself. Oh, there's
she
the
was
counter.
there, though.
She was. And Ippon with the counter. Well, Kulbs will be delighted with that, and I think their actions show how happy she truly is with that medal. Chibisova, for me, really needs to be much more aggressive in her approach in these contests. She has the size, she has the athleticism to be much more forceful, doesn't she?
Punchy. You need to be punchy here, you know, and it
really
just doesn't happen.
She came out to play.
Yeah.
She didn't come out to fight, and I think this is the difference between these two matches, these two athletes. One came out to fight, the other one came out to play.
Yeah, I've spent, you know, some time in chatting with both the athletes, and I know which one I'd rather not be around if there was a punch-up, and it's Yasmin Kulbs, because you're likely to get, you know, seriously thumped from her. Whereas Chibisova, you might just get a few words of warning.
Yeah, you wouldn't like to get stuck in a lift with her, put it that way.
You know, well, I sat next to her on the flight coming out here, you know, and she's quite aggressive. You know, she knows.
Yeah, she's forceful.
You know,
definitely forceful.
But Chibisova, you know, she's not going to scare you, is she?
No, she's like she's a gentle giant, isn't she?
Oh well.
And she competes like a gentle giant at this particular moment, which they need to sort of sort that out, really, if she wants to just start getting up the ranks there on the world ranking.
Good finish from Yasmin
nice big
Kulbs.
throw, and that's what we like to see.
Yeah, if you take away the two errors that she had picked up and just look at that, you say that's nice work from a heavyweight.
She put herself under unnecessary risk, didn't she, there with the two Shidos? And that was what you said, it was 2.5 minutes still remaining in the contest, and we're down 2 Shidos. A bit daft, really. Right, we come now to the final of the plus 78 kilo category. Idalis Ortiz of Cuba will go up against Akiba Maya of Japan. It'll be Ortiz in the white judogi, Akiba in blue. The record of Ortiz and Akiba, Loretta Cusactor will give you. The referee in the middle for this one is Orlando Cruz of the Dominican Republic. There's Loretta. Well, when you're really looking at these two athletes, they're sort of miles apart as far as experiences and results under their belts. And as you can see, there's been a head-to-head, and obviously Ortiz been there, but no ranking in the world ranking for the Japanese athlete. Number 1 in the world, Ortiz, Olympic champion, 3 medals, Olympic gold, silver and bronze, and world medalist as well, world champion. And for me, she has been unstoppable for the past, I would say, 8 to almost a year. This is somebody that is consistently there on that podium, taking those medals, and someone to be reckoned with. Maybe a year ago, you might have wanted to write her off as being someone that was good, but will she ever come back to that status of being an Olympian, an Olympic champion? I think she's got the possibility of doing that. She's getting more and more her confidence back. She's getting her mojo back, as they would say. I think you're right, and the important thing to remember for the heavyweights is they tend to be able to stay around for that little bit longer. Yeah, there was a flat moment when part of her career, but now I just see there's a big element of light around her that's just starting. She looks like she's having fun out there. She looks like she's really enjoying being on that center stage, and she loves what comes with it, and that's that fame and those results. And every time she comes out, she just seems to get more and more confident.
She looks relaxed, actually.
She does, and you see her in the warm-up area. She's very smiley. She's very much engaged with what's going on around her. She's having a good time out there.
We got a little bit about Akiba.
Akiba, well, let's see what we had at that. This is someone that I didn't she's 22 years of age, but didn't really find too much about her.
That's okay. Yeah, new,
and that's
new from
it. So
Japan,
someone who's new on the scene. The thing about Akiba, and what we've noticed here that's got her into this final, is that she is absolutely tiny. And she's played that card very, very well by being the one that's like a little Duracell bunny. She just attack, attack, attack. She doesn't give the heavyweights an opportunity to get two hands on her so that they can actually throw her. She just hits enough to look busy, to be the first person in, but without committing herself of either getting countered by the bigger ladies. Now, this is what Ortiz has got to be careful with, because Akiba will be very busy out there. She will use her feet. She'll have that Japanese flair and style, and she's a very fit young lady to be able to deal with the difference of weights that we're seeing right now. But Ortiz, if she gets two hands on her and she gets those hips across and that leg across, the Makakomi will be there, and Akiba will not be able to stop her.
We've got a little over 2 minutes left to go. Both fighters have picked up a penalty apiece. We haven't seen an attack really from either of them. Well, nothing to write home about anyway. Let's see what it is that Akiba's got to offer up, technically.
Well, to get herself into that final, she really played a blinder against the young lady from France, Tolofua. It went to Hansokamaki, and all it was tactically she kept hitting her all the time. And she really did play a very, very good match against her, and well deserved a place in this final. There's no doubt about it. Ortiz, on the other hand, she's not as tall, so she doesn't look... There isn't as many sort of opportunities for Akiba to come in to use her feet as much, because being shorter, it isn't as clumsy looking, without being rude at all against their opponents. But she's really been able to... Ortiz is able to get two hands on, and there you've got it. She drops underneath, and Akiba is not going anywhere.
That's interesting.
All right, so back into the...
It's got the result up before we've even finished.
So it is.
Okay.
Crikey.
Sorry, that was
We'll
something else. So, 2 penalties apiece into the last minute.
There's another one, and there Ortiz, she's put 2 strong attacks. 2 strong attacks in there, and that's... is that enough to give the third and final Shido? And there you have it. The third and final Shido goes to Akiba, and Ortiz takes the win and the gold medal here in Hohhot. The last gold medal to be taken for the women here over these past 3 days. So she will be absolutely delighted again. Something to celebrate a little bit later on in that warm-up area when she goes back. But definitely a nice win.
This is the 6th gold medal for London Olympic Games champion in the Grand-Prix.
It's unfortunate, really, because you expect a fighter from Japan to offer up a little bit more. Ortiz had an easy ride of it, didn't she?
She made easy work of that, didn't she? I think it's where I think Akaba would have only been better if her opponent was taller, because then she would have worked the feet more, but she couldn't get past the size of Ortiz, and because she was of the same height, there was no way that she could actually come underneath her without Ortiz collapsing on her or being able to counter her. So it was a different body shape altogether that didn't suit Akaba at all, didn't suit her. When she's fought the tall girls, she looks busy, she hits the feet, and before you know it, it's Shido Shido, Hansokimaki, and she plays that game very well. With Ortiz, she wasn't able to do it.
We come now to the awarding ceremony for the men in the under 100 kilo category. There are the 4 fighters all lined up and ready to go, and the first of the bronze medals goes to Karl Richard Frey of Germany. There's a bronze medal also for Khlakva Otgenbatar of Mongolia. The silver medal goes to Benjamin Fletcher of Ireland. The gold medal goes to Cho Kwam of the Republic of Korea.
Ladies and gentlemen, please hold rise for the national anthem of the Republic of Korea.
And now the national anthem of the Republic of Korea.
Thank you very much. Now, family picture with the recent best judo category.
When Cho defeated Fletcher in that final, I'd mentioned that there was a special style that he employed, which I highlighted as being a readily identifiable as being Korean. There's several of the Korean fighters who recognize that situation and say, right, I'm going for it. 100 miles an hour, put in as many attacks as possible. All of a sudden, bang, third Shido. That was right up his street.
Yes.
Cho. Frey and Khlakva were the bronze medal winners. Fletcher took the silver. It was Cho to walk away with the gold medal. No shame in losing to the world champion.
No, definitely not.
We come now to the last of the weight categories. It's the men's super heavyweight, the plus 100 kilo category. And the first of the bronze medal contest features Levani Matiashvili of Georgia. He's up against Johannes Frey of Germany. Matiashvili in the white judogi, Frey in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Artur Fando of Belarus.
Well, again, when we look at the statistics, you really couldn't sort of prize them apart. They're very, very close, there's no doubt about it. Interestingly enough, in the plus 100, there was 19 athletes, And only Krepelic was the one of the top 4 seeds that's managed to be able to battle away for a place on the podium. The other medalists are going to be coming from the outside of the top 4 seedings. So it really was a battle and a half in this weight category. The sort of the mighty did fall, and the underdogs really did sort of rise to the top. And here Matiashvili there is coming with some pedigree under his belt. For me, he's been looking very, very sharp out there. But Frey, he's just seen his brother do extremely well. And will he be able to repeat and then follow suit and take this bronze medal here today? But they're big, big lads. There's no doubt about it, the Frey brothers. And looking at the results, Frey, this in Agadir last year, was gold medalist. The Junior European Championships back in 2016 was a silver medalist. Matiashvili Antalya this year was a silver medalist. Comes from a long list of good heavyweights to come out of Georgia. There's going to be a bit of a sort of a battle going on to have the better kumikata. Well, you would expect it to be a very fast start, both trying to engage, but there you have the Ashiwaza. Matiashvili stumbling his opponent down there on the edge of the contest area. Matiashvili, as you can see with that grip, it looks like a bit of a pistol grip, and he's got to be careful holding on for far too long without actually using it. It's the way that he holds it as well. You're under the arm, but he wasn't drawing down with it, so it wasn't too much as classed as an infringement as yet. But definitely, if that's the style of gripping that he's got to make sure that it's going to be useful. Comes over the top, takes that lapel, as you can see. Just trying to draw Frey into him a little bit there, but Frey feels the danger, gets out of trouble with that Sianagi movement. Wasn't going to trouble the Georgian at all, really, but still it broke up what was very uncomfortable for him. 2 Shidos on the board already, and we've got 1 minute and 47 seconds remaining. Sianagi, a little bit too high, lost the control. As you could see, that arm as he came through under, came wrapped around his neck, and so lost particular power in being able to get the better direction and lift from the Sianagi. Works his feet to try and open up Frey. Again, the Sianagi. Oh! Ho, ho, ho. Well, there you have it. Nice, very upright Sianagi.
That's one of the best executed techniques from a heavyweight that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, he didn't even. I don't even think he really bent his knees as such. They were so upright and powerful. It was a delight to watch.
Well, Johannes Frey is new to the plus 100 kilo category, so we'll put that down to experience. A 5th place finish in a Grand Prix is not a bad thing for him. So, come again, keep going. Let's hope that you can do some more. But Matiashvili there really just showed
the
sort of stuff that he's going to be up against. So a little bit of work to do for Johannes, as yet Matiashvili finishing off in style. Going to be on the highlights reel, absolutely no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Loretta.
Well, you're definitely right there. I'm looking forward to seeing the replay as here it comes, as it's, look at that face, he's really up for business now. He comes in, he draws on there, there's Siotoshi. Oh, the Sianagi, that foot was on the outside there.
Oh, nice position.
Beautifully done, wasn't it?
Yeah, look at the feet position.
The outside leg capturing, so the avoidance of stepping around it, trapped it, over he went. No, doubt about it. Perfect. Beautifully done. That's definitely got to be on the highlights. Well, that is what you call a throw.
That was class.
Yeah.
Nice
One
shot.
side,
yeah.
one side, all on that one arm. Steps right across for what looked to be at one stage the Taitoshi, but the hips came through. Sianagi on the outside, trapping that leg.
This could be the one. This is it.
It almost looked like he was going to do the Siyotoshi, but the knee came up.
That was the shot there. Quality. Nice camera work. Well done. I wondered which of the shots was going to be the best. They left the best to last.
There, and that was
Enjoyed
the best
that.
part.
Right, there is a second bronze medal coming up now. Alan Shovrebov of Russia faces Lukas Kapalik of the Czech Republic. It's Shovrebov in the white judogi, Kapalik in blue. The referee in the middle for this one is Everardo Garcia of Mexico. I have to admit that Alan Shovrebov is a new one on me.
Shovrebov, well, European Open bronze medalist. That's really one I've got. A European Open medalist is a really unknown entity, and but on the other hand, Kripalik isn't. We all know him, an Olympic champion, but again, who's someone who's moved up from under 100s and is now really setting his place within quite firmly here, an established plus 100 kilogram athlete. Here, the World Championships last year, he took a 5th place, but since then he's gone on to work extremely hard in developing himself and establishing himself firmly on these podium positions. Now, he came in as the #1 seed. Is the only one out of the seeded athletes in the top 4 that managed to have still a chance of getting on the podium here today. So, be interesting to see, can he get on that podium against someone that is pretty unknown, but pretty gifted as well. Russian only lost out to Naidan, who are also in the quarter-final stage, that's gone on to place himself firmly in the final of this plus 100s. Kapalik coming round, gets that lift with the counter. Didn't manage to plant him as well as he was hoping for, and it looks like he's given himself a bit of a knock to the head for his effort.
Alan Shovrebov is the number 11 on the Russian ranking list. He does take a whack there on the way down, doesn't he?
They've actually got more than, they've got 11 athletes at plus 100s. I think some countries would be delighted with that, wouldn't they?
Bashayev, Tasoyev, Krybovokov, Bustanov, Volkov, Saidov. There are plenty up there.
Sutemi was her attempt there. Russian goes over quite nicely, but still no score. Well, Kripalik is dominating the pace on which this contest is going at this particular moment. I think the Russian has really got a tall order against such an experienced athlete. What he has got as an advantage is most probably a little bit of size and weight, but definitely not the experience that Kripalik, and he's got cracking Niwaza. And
this is
the
what
Russian is going to come round the back. He's got the size, he's got the power. Can he do something here in the Niwaza?
I think he's just seen, actually, because he was in danger of getting caught there with the Sangaku. You know, yes. The legs hadn't gone round, but the hand was underneath, and he was feeling the pressure, and he thought, hang on, shall I try to work round, or should I get out of here?
Get out. That was him. I'm heading out the back door here. On this
exactly.
one.
The second phone was, I think I might leave this.
When you see the bouncers at the front door, you make a quick escape
that's
to the
right.
back, and that's exactly what he done. He took the back door.
There's still time enough here, especially because there's no score on the board, and we've got just a little under 2 minutes. There's still time for Kapalik to engage in Newaza again, and I think that's what he's going to look to do.
Definitely, I think he's going to do that. And he's quite deceiving, Kapalik. He really is. When you go down into the ground, you don't initially see what he's going to do. He comes in so quietly and so engaging that you don't actually see almost probably even feel, being on the receiving end, the danger you really are in. All of a sudden you're there, you're tied up in knots, and it's a night-night.
And he's got a couple of good turnovers as well.
He's got some excellent turnovers.
Here we go, here's a chance now.
There he's in,
yeah.
He's straight in, turns him over. Now he's not going to I don't think he's going to let him up. I really don't think he's going to let him out of there. The referee, I think he was a bit too quick.
I'd have left it for a little bit longer.
I would have left it longer there for that referee. He went too quick there. He just wanted to get himself back up on top to then manoeuvre himself, but he just didn't allow him to get back up.
And Shovrebov has just picked up a little bit of a knock to the lip there. That'll slow him down slightly. Maybe he just wants to slow things down a little bit.
Well,
He's
I don't
taking
think
a bit of breath,
to be honest.
Kapalik is not interested in slowing it down at all.
No, not at all. He's wanting to get in there and get this one over and done with and get home. He really is on a mission at this particular moment, head-to-head at this situation here. He draws off the sleeve. He comes across with those long legs, looking for that Oso Tagaro just off at the edge, taking it to the side, but didn't manage to get the momentum through. But there you have the Russian who comes down, attacks, draws his opponent to the ground.
Got nothing left.
But he's got nothing.
He couldn't attack him.
He's got nothing left in the tank. He just seems to be. And you know what? Krapalik sees that.
Yeah, he's like a shark who smelt blood.
So the attempt comes under.
Get his head up here. That's a better position.
Yeah, now those long legs can come across. He's trying to set it up. He's working him to the edge, getting a reaction, drawing him in. He's trying to get him to pull up so he can come through. But he won't get him to pull up because the Russian's so tired, his head's staying down. He's actually just dying on his feet at this particular moment. And there's nothing left in the tank for him to have any aggressive comeback by coming up. He's totally spent.
I agree with the Russian coach here. The Russian coach is saying, well, how long are we going to leave him with a hand on the belt? He did have that on for a long time there. Last time he was complaining about something on the lip. This time it's on the chin. He's working his way down, I think.
It'll be his heart and his lungs.
His
heart and lungs will be going next. Yeah. Oh, put the man out of his misery.
Into his front.
It's really going to... The defences are not even there for the Russian, sadly. He really is spent. And Krapalik is just like a beast out there. He's a big,
ready
mean
to take
fighting machine. He comes there. Oh, yes. Steps. Just. Well, in credit to the Russian, he reacted the right way. Got off it. And didn't think he had enough in him to be able to react from that.
Better position now for Kapalik to work from and take time to dig in, work the turnover. There's not a great deal of strength left from Shovrebov to stop him.
Shovrebov, I think, is going to throw in the towel soon. He's got very little left, has he? Even he's holding his wrist, it's like the limp.
Well, that time there was more progression, so the referee left that. He saw the stages there, and then at the last one, Shovrebov just got a bit of a block on. Kapalik stopped, and he called the mate. I don't want it to go on a third Shido.
No, I don't.
But Shovrebov is pushing it in that direction because there's nothing left.
You'd like to see this with a throw, you really would, because Krapalik he's got judo, he's got a finishing touch, but he just doesn't seem to be able to do it right now. I think it's a big lump of a lad that really is
there's
so
a lot of weight
limp,
to move around.
and it's not reacting the way Krapalik would actually expect. So hence his judo's not working, because where he would have some other athlete that would react in what he would do to set up, he's not getting that same reaction.
Exactly. Big Uchimata or big Osodogari.
Yeah.
Stand him up a little bit. He's ducked underneath Kupalik.
Yeah, I'm surprised with that.
Well, that's it then.
It's gotta be
Shame it's going to end
unfronted.
this way, but yeah. He just, if this was boxing, there'd be a coach there throwing the towel in.
Yeah, definitely.
Poor fella. I mean,
it was going to be a tall order for him. Oh gosh, yeah, it is his heart.
tell me that I'm wrong. You know exactly what that feels like.
I know.
Exactly.
Like
So we have to have sympathy.
We
here.
do sympathise. There's no two ways about it. I've been on the receiving end of that, and you feel that the air has been sucked out of the atmosphere, and all you're looking for is a little bit of air under the crack of the door, and you can't find it.
For those of you who are at home and are thinking, oh, that's not attractive, or that's it. This guy can hardly draw breath.
He's
His
exhausted.
chest must be absolutely heaving. His stomach is, going 6 inches front and 6 inches back. He's staggering off the mat. It really is so physically draining.
But look at the man he was up against.
Yeah,
Olympic gold medalist who's built like Adonis. He's look at him. He's a mean, lean fighting machine. And this is a young guy that's come up. He's lower down on the Russian ranking. He's come out and he's given it a shot. But he's in there fighting for a bronze medal.
You're right.
How many others there that were top seeded that didn't even get a sniff at the top place?
You're absolutely right. Number 12. What we have to remember here is this is the 12th ranked Russian. Not 12th ranked in the world. He's ranked number 12 in Russia. And he's still given it a good go. And he's managed to avoid getting thrown or avoid getting caught on the ground. The one thing that has happened during that exercise is he's absolutely given everything.
He's spent. And the thing is, you've got to give him credit. The one thing he's walked away there, could
Yeah,
Kapelek
yeah.
put him away? No, he couldn't.
No.
He couldn't put him away. An athlete and the experience of exposure on the world level, that man could not put him away.
We come now to the final of the plus 100 kilo category. Kim Min-jong of the Republic of Korea faces Naidan Tufshinbaya of Mongolia. It'll be Kim in the white judogi, Naidan in blue. And the referee in the middle for this one, a former heavyweight himself, Mathieu Bataille of France.
Yes, I remember him fighting many a time, but Naidan, obviously the home favourite here. He really is one of these. He's a loved man throughout here. He's actually had a great performance throughout the day. There's been no two ways about it. When you looked at the statistics, though, everything was ticking boxes for Naidan, except for the one thing right at the beginning, the head-to-head, where Kim has beaten him before.
Whoops.
There's been a win, so he's got to be, to a certain point, quietly confident against the old boy. And this is what is really down to. He's a very experienced Mongolian that has had a very impressive day today, and he has put away some very strong athletes to find himself here in this final. Both of them sizing each other up here, the big men. The finale, the cream at the top. And we're going to see some fireworks here in this last gold medal contest of the day.
Naidan is, I suppose, the term that we can apply to him is wily, because he's been around for so long.
He's also the gold medalist from last year as well.
That's right. Yeah.
So
longevity.
He's been here, he's world bronze medalist, and Hohhot gold medal, current reigning champion.
Those are all things in recent times. When you go further back, well, he's won the lot.
Yeah, he's won everything, hasn't he?
You name it, he's won it.
You name it, he's been there, and he's got every T-shirt for it.
Well, not going to go over easily.
He's power man.
Look at him. What was that?
It was like, did you sneeze? Oh. He's definitely a consistent athlete, Naidan. He's there all the time. He is always a major threat for any athlete coming through in this world circuit. He attempts a Seanagi there, totally loses control in the upper body. He came in so deep and so fast as well, but he lost that grip, which made it look quite poor at the end. But he's in the knee waza, the shimmy waza's there, but I don't know if it's under the chin. Referee calls a halt to it. Sasai attempt. Hizoguruma one way is trying to just get a little bit of a twist. As you can see, Kim's body is leaning slightly forward towards him, and he's trying to take full advantage of that. He's got the lapel grip that he's drawing down with, and maneuvering his opponent with the lapel and sleeve to try and get that reaction from the Korean. Korean pulls down on the lapels, tries to get the head down, gets a reaction of a bobbing situation, and as the head comes up, tries the attack. But once more, it wasn't effective on Naidan. Again, that foot comes in, he gets the upper body slightly turned, not enough to get a score, but he stumbles him on his face. And with 1 minute remaining in this contest, there's only a Shido each on the clock. But there you have it. It gets the upper body. The Tewaza bit just wasn't finishing the technique.
You begin to wonder just how much the experience will come into it, despite the fact that the energy levels will probably drop a lot quicker as an older fighter, and he's just going to prove too clever for him, you know? This is what we're looking at here.
Well, for me, this was one of the things that I was quite impressed with Naidan, because he had actually had a few real humdinger matches, and his condition looked really good.
Yeah,
I was waiting for that time that he was just going to fall all over the place and he just wasn't going to be able to live up to it. But he has surprised me of how well conditioned he is here at this tournament. Oh, Ryuchimata!
Can't get off that.
Oh, and he tried to, but there was no escaping that. Those little legs didn't have enough flexibility to tuck over those big ones from the Korean Kim.
Well, the International Judo Federation media director Mark Pickering picked out Kim Min-jung as his favourite for the heavyweight, and so it turned out. Well, what a pick that was.
I must admit, my money was on Naidan. I just went with the real experienced world-class athlete at time, but
what a way to close out the tournament.
Oh, it's a great way, isn't it? That's what you want to see. Whoever is on the receiving end, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
You just want to see judo. And what superb judo for the super heavyweights to be able to produce. And it is definitely the icing on the cake for 3 days of what's been some brilliant judo for me to watch. And it's been an absolute pleasure to be here, to be able to experience that.
The highlights of this last final on the screen.
There you have it, the hopping uchi. Yeah. That was just nice. Well, he had to work for it though. Naidan wasn't just going to give in too easy. Flexibility just wasn't there.
Well, Kim Min-jung and Levani Matiashvili have demonstrated two beautiful techniques in the plus 100 kilo category final block. I'm really delighted to see that, because it's not always, the flashiest and anything. And in the absence of the big man, Teddy Riner, you're always looking for a new star. Kim Min-jung, I mean, has he got time to develop that, grow into it before the return of the big fella, I wonder?
Well, But you know, I think there's a career past the big fella himself anyway. I think, well, unless he goes to Paris, which is a good possibility of something like Tidirino going to Paris, why not? It's on home doorstep, isn't it? But this is somebody that I think will only get better. I think we're going to see a lot more of Kim. I really do. Look at that. Just if you can throw like that, you've got something. There's no doubt about it. He's an agile. He's a big heavyweight, but he's fit and he's technically very good.
We come now to the awarding ceremony for the women in the plus 78 kilo category. Matushka Santaella, the president of the Venezuelan Judo Federation and a member of the International Judo Federation Education and Coaching Committee, is presenting the medals. And the first of the bronze medals goes to Yasmin Kulbs of Germany. There's a bronze medal also for Xu Shiyan of China. Silver medal goes to Akiba Maya of Japan. The gold medal goes to Idalis Ortiz of Cuba.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Cuba.
Well, now the national anthem of Cuba. There's the winning quartet. Kulbs and Xu were the bronze medalists. Akiba took the silver. It was Ortiz who took the gold medal. Right, we've got another awarding ceremony coming up for you shortly. Before we have that, we've got a highlights package. Take a look at this.
Dear friends, before we start the last awarding ceremony for men over 100 kilos, you can see the highlights of today's final block on the screen. 男子正100公斤级颁奖仪式将稍后举行，精彩镜头请看大屏幕。
Well, Right, it looks as though we've got the athletes ready and waiting for the last of the presentations. And this is the athletes in the plus 100 kilo category.
Sponsor of Hohhot Grand-Prix. 有请杭州娃哈哈集团内蒙古市场销售公司总经理段彻先生为获奖运动员颁发奖牌。Bronze medalist
The first of the bronze medals goes to Lukas Kopalik of the Czech Republic.
and representing Georgia, Levan Matiashvili.
There's a bronze medal also for Levani Matiashvili of Georgia. Silver medal goes to Naidan Tufshinbayev of Mongolia. And the gold medal goes to Kim Min-jong of the Republic of Korea.
Will be presented by referee assessor of the International Judo Federation, Mr. Hohhot.
Prize money is being presented by Mukbat Bashbat of Mongolia, refereeing assessor for the International Judo Federation.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of the Republic of Korea.
And now the national anthem of the Republic of Korea.
Thank you very much. Now, family picture with the recent best judoka of heavyweight category. 金和以的面
There's the squeeze up on the podium for the four heavyweights there. Kopalik and Matiashvili were the bronze medalists. Naidan took the silver. It was Kim who closed out the tournament with a gold medal, and that made 4 gold medals for the Republic of Korea to top the medal table, ahead of Japan with 3, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea with 2, and there were gold medals also for Germany, Cuba, France, Azerbaijan and Iran. Well, we'll see how that medal table finishes up when we are next on the International Judo Federation World Tour. We'll be in Montreal, so join us then for more action. But from Marisa Kusakdol and myself, it's bye for now.
Goodbye.
体彩杯2019年世界柔道大奖赛互动奥特战的比赛到此结束。世界柔道大奖